What's happening? You ready, Cat? You ready for this? You prepared? Are you rocking and rolling? Yes. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Houston. We have a problem. Wednesday night after dark. We're back to eating crumbs again. We were getting a few mouthfuls of deliciousness last week, and it's been all crumbs this week. Among those crumbs is the motion to dismiss in the pump and dump case for Ryan Cohen. Included in that is a whole bunch of exhibits, but all the exhibits seem to be dated from 2022 and not from anything recently. So we don't see any of the stuff, the nitty gritty, the juicy things that could be from this year. They are not listed in that case. I'm wondering if the opponents in that case are going to bother replying, or if they do reply, they're like, it's over, because they did get privy to information that does not concern those things. That is some of the secret, non-publicly disclosed. We signed an NDA and a protection order to hide this stuff, which is different than what got filed filed today. Everything we saw filed today is available through the SEC, through their filings of 13Fs and things like that. So, what mean? What is it? What's happening? What else do we see today? AMC had a good earnings. They did not make a profit. They still lost 9 cents a share. It's better than the 17 cents that was projected. Business is up 45%, and the shorts hammered it right back down. So there's that. Still like $10 a share. So it's still at 1/77th of where it was at its peak in 2021. Everyone's still hurting. Everyone's down 90% or more on their AMC at the moment. And that may change. There was an announcement at about an hour and 15 minutes ago, that SAG-AFTRA has reached a tentative agreement with the studios, and they're basically getting everything they wanted. When are the companies going to realize that the workers have the power, right? Like, if your entire business relies upon the workers to do these specific things, to draw audiences or to make the stuff for you, you're going to have to give them what they want, especially when what they want isn't that greedy. It's not. Like, they just want to, control their image and not have you use it in using AI for the future, right? That they want human creativity involved, not robot creativity, which is quite frankly just the dumbest shit in the world. You caved and you gave them everything they wanted anyway. So why did you waste the last 5 months not giving them what they wanted? I mean, you gave the writers everything they wanted after like 6 months of striking. So why did you waste 6 months of not making any product and losing a bunch of money rather than just giving them what they wanted, which was really reasonable in the first place? We've seen all of the auto companies basically give all the workers what they wanted after these rolling strikes happened for the last couple of months. Why didn't you just give it to them in the first place and be building cars and making money? They're not asking for the world, man. They're asking for like livable wages and retirement programs and stuff that every human being should have. And all of you made record profits. All of you make so much money. I know it's tough. It's rough. But, hey, movies can get made again. Yay! Isn't that fancy? Yeah, so here we sit. Looking pretty. And how about this one?
Houston, we have a problem.
Off. It's off. Daytime off. Daytime's off. Everything's off. Everything's off. Okay. A couple super chats start off. Bill Coyne. Normally I'm a chill guy, but this has me anxious, twiddling thumbs. Give me both. I can only twiddle one. Actually, but this thumb's feeling a lot better since I immobilized it a few days ago. But I'm just going to leave it in this thing for a little while because tendons suck. That's what I have to say. Stephanie L. Stephanie, you need to message me for your Blue Sky code. Your Blue Sky code. What's up, Houston? What do you think all the shorters and hedgies are up to? Think they are twiddling their thumbs too, or obviously trying to pull a fast one? I think at all times their go-to is to pull a fast one. My theory from the beginning is they short this stuff. They make the money from it. They send the money to an offshore account where it sits. And when needed to, like, hey, do you have capital? Like, yes, look, all this money I have in this account. And all the lenders go, oh, okay. But the minute they get in trouble, they will sever ties with that account. And it'll be nearly impossible for their lenders to liquidate them or have access to any of that cash that's sitting offshore. And then, they will try to hide from whatever warlords were investing in their hedge fund and live their days on the Caymans or Bahamas or wherever. That's my overall theory. I do think they're starting to turn on each other, which is what we saw in 2008. So if you remember, going way back, economy crashes 2008. We see Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns get vaporized. What began to happen was the shorts began shorting the banks, their lenders. So they're borrowing money from like Goldman Sachs, and then they're using that money to short Goldman Sachs. The bank started to freak out. So they went to Congress like, you got to do something about this. And Congress was like, okay, we will make naked shorting of banks illegal. You cannot naked short financial institutions anymore. And that was that. Banks were spared. What we are seeing now is we are seeing hedge funds and market makers starting to short each other. I don't know if you saw Virtue Capital today. It was down like 25%. Virtue Capital stock. Where'd you go? Here we go. So Virtue, give me the ticker. What is wrong with you? What? Where's the ticker? Why did it disappear? Sorry, one sec. I'm incompetent apparently when it comes to getting Virtue Capital's ticker to pop up. There we go. Okay. So Virtue Capital got hit hard. Wait, where are you? Was that yesterday? Crap, I might be mixing my days up here. Go away. There we go. Yeah, they got hit hard on Tuesday, and they dropped quite a bit. My guess is that they're starting to turn on each other. And, okay, Chrome. Get Chrome pop up here. That one. There we go. So they got hit all day Tuesday and dropped what? Reasonable percentage. 7% or something like that. And then holding steady. So I think they're starting to get hit by their neighbors, and their neighbors can smell blood in the water. And my guess is that these folks may begin going to Congress here in the coming weeks going, hey, can you make it so they can't short market makers and other private equity groups? And then Congress will probably go, okay. But that's where we are on that one. Jose Rosario, Houston, my birthday. How many shorts would it take to make BBYQ get to Berkshire Hathaway numbers? Do we have any guess on how many shorts are out there? I don't know particularly. The failure to delivers from last spring through when they stopped trading were pretty ridiculous. We haven't seen what they were for October, but they stopped trading sometime at the end of September, so there wouldn't be numbers in there. But we're talking like millions upon millions upon millions upon millions a day through the entire spring and summer. Someone had the number at around 1 billion failure to delivers total from spring until now. That makes sense to me. And whatever those failure to delivers were prior, and despite what FINRA tries to tell you, like, oh, these failure to delivers are just cumulative throughout the week until they get made up. Well, a lot of those failure delivers remain failure delivers. They just package them up in swaps and get rid of them that way. So they never get made whole. They just get packaged into a swap, big IOU, and then you go, hey, take this one and I'll take yours. And then they trade that crap. Billions would make sense to me. If there's 500,000 investors, and my brain wants to think there's probably closer to 1 million, but let's say there's 500,000, right? Calculator. So clear 500,000. Each one of those 500,000 have 10,000 shares. Oops, that's one too many. Then we're looking at 5 billion shares right there. That makes sense to me. Most people loaded up thousands and thousands and thousands of them because the stock was pennies, and you could. So I would guess that we own many more times than the float. Even if it's only 100,000 investors, right? It's only 100,000 investors, which is 1/10 of what was in GME the week it popped in 2021. 100,000 investors, 10,000 shares each. We're looking at 1 billion shares. Okay, that to just people who share the float's around 400 million. That's more than 100% of what the float is. So you're looking at 200 and whatever percent, 200 and about 250% of what the float is would be in, of what's out there. So that might be enough. And we got a whole bunch of people who transferred their shares to AST in September, and they're in limbo. They have no idea where their shares are. They've never been notified if the transfer has been successful, the DRS. And so they're like the accidental infinity pool. They won't be able to pull the trigger or anything. And folks who are in AST or wherever those shares happen to be, if it's in Computer Share or Equinity, I have no idea. Nothing's been confirmed yet. When it comes time to sell, they won't be able to because they don't know where their shares are. And AST only does at the market offering once a week. They just package it all together, go, I don't want to sell. So it's going to be really, really hard for anyone who's registered to do anything with their shares. They might be just stuck with them, period. Meaning everyone else who has theirs still in an account, those are the ones who are going to get to do magic stuff. I'm speculating because, they may push everything onto a blockchain, and all of a sudden we're on the blockchain, people have access to everything again. So there you go. Berkshire Hathaway numbers? Sure, why not? Not everybody's going to get it, but there's going to be people in there who are definitely going to get numbers like that. There's going to be people who, when it gets to 1,000, 10,000, whatever, they go, holy crap, it's a lot of money, sell. Good for them, right? They probably just made millions of dollars. You get 10,000 shares, you get $10,000 a share, you just made $100 million. Congratulations, you have generational wealth. Good job, right? But there's people who are like, no, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell until I see phone numbers. And some people will make it because you have to remember, there's a huge number of shares that are DRS'd, huge number, appreciable number of the float. And right now, those folks have no access to their shares and can't do anything with them. So we have this accidental infinity pool at the moment. That may change with the filing S1 and 8K and whatever else. But yeah, so we why not? Why not? I would love a phone number level of share price. Right, Monkey? You want your ski in, ski out chalets all over the world, into private islands? Why not? Yeah, Monkey agrees. She's looking at me with cold, steely eyes saying, yes, that's what I want. So, easily 1 billion shares. I think several billion is probably more likely. Okay. Star Warrior. Hi, Houston. Happy holidays. Any idea what is happening with MMAT and MMTLP? Seems like a mess now. Can't comment on MMAT. MMTLP, it still sounds like there's lots going on behind the scenes between Congress, FINRA, and the SEC. I do wish Congress would bring in some retail investors to spar with FINRA. It would be great if they brought in some retail investors to spar with FINRA, and basically call their bullshit. and explain how their bullshit is being peddled to these members of Congress. Because if you can cut through the crap and be like, no, what they're telling you is a bunch of doublespeak. This is actually what happened, and this is what they did. And this is what their responsibilities are. The members of Congress go, oh, wait a minute. It looks like these FINRA guys are lying to me, and that pisses me off even more. Like before, I was kind of about this because my constituents are just telling me to go after it. But now I'm finding out that these assholes are lying to me. Perhaps maybe we should put the screws to them and overhaul our entire self-regulatory agencies. I mean, there really should just be one regulatory body that handles everything in the stock market and the markets in general. Just have the SEC handle all of it. Have them have a little FINRA division and all that stuff, just subsidiaries of them. All government employees. All of them get their little pensions and everything else. And then you also give them law enforcement power. So they don't have these toothless little, oh, we're just going to slap you on the wrist, and we're going to take you to court, and you get another slap on the wrist, and that they can put people in cuffs and haul their asses to jail. That's the easiest way to solve all of this, is you give them regulatory power. You find a bunch of people whose parents got screwed over by the markets in 2008, and you make them agents of the SEC, and they're going to be fucking pit bulls going after these yahoos. And that's what you do. And you make it so, hey, if you ever leave the SEC and you go to private sector, you can never come back to the SEC. That's it. You're done. You know, your pension gets capped. That's it. You may work for another agency in the government. We won't work for the SEC. We want SEC until you die type people. And that's probably the way to solve it. Stephanie, please give my Blue Sky code to someone deserving. Oh, you don't want a Blue Sky code? You want to be on Blue Sky, hanging out, seeing me post stupid jokes? Okay, so Stephanie L. There's Stephanie L. on the list. Okay, we'll cross that off. Put a little star next to that one. Okay, so that leaves... Who do we have left on this? I've got... oh, crap. I forgot to cross off first name, last name, didn't I? Because he got his code finally. All right, Sam O. Aleph, 757, Patty MJ, Truckaroo, Dano, Lutz Paylike, Alvarez, Jay Sheely, Brenda Queen of Swords, Fast Like a Bear, SP, Eileen, Molly McWoolhead, Shane E, Maui Sam, Fred Jones, Dr. G78, Mark, Let's Hope, Defender X, Brian Adams, Anonymous Bloomer, and The Dude Cometh. All you folks need to send me a message on Reddit or whatever, and I will get you your codes. So bring it, and then we'll figure out what we got left. Jose Rosario, how did you train Monkey Butt to be so chill? A lot of tackling her like a linebacker. My biggest belief with training an animal is, first, you got to play with them a whole bunch. And when you play with them, you just sort of dominate them while playing with them, because they love to wrestle. You love to wrestle, don't you? It's your favorite thing in the entire world. And while you're wrestling with them, you get them on their back so their belly's exposed, and you show that you can just kind of control them. And they really do start to go, oh yeah, I guess this guy truly is in charge, and I must do what he says. They'll challenge you. They will do little shitty things, and they'll like rip something apart or tear apart your living room or couch or whatever. And you tackle them, pin them, and go, no. And they're like, oh shit, there's a consequence when I do these things. And it doesn't take very long, right? It didn't take very long, did it, Monkey Butt? No, you're just a happy little dog. Yes. And got the point where Monkey Butt trains other dogs, right? You'll train other dogs. You'll show them what's appropriate. When we got that stupid husky, when our roommate got that husky and it pissed and shit everywhere, you kicked the shit out of it. And we're like, no. And that dog listened. I was like, holy crap. Monkey Butt's telling me I can't do that in here. So yeah, she's a good dog. She does have her moments where the instinct takes over and her like reasonability just disappears. Usually when she sees a squirrel, a deer, pigeon, goat. She hates goats. Oh man, she hates goats so much. She loves horses though. So she sees a horse, she's like, I'm in love, boner. But certain creatures just piss her off in ways that they should not exist. They're abominations, and she will disappear into the forest and not come back for hours after trying to hunt them down and murder them. That's the times that she won't listen to me. She's just like on pure like murder mode. But you're good otherwise. As long as you don't see creatures you want to murder, you're okay. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And And Jose Rosario, having trouble finding reliable information on financial management teams, a legal advisor, taxes, etc. Can you provide any insights on this? I do not have any in particular. I know some folks who do financial management here on the island, but they do it specifically for NFL players. I only manage the finances of NFL players. Okay, that doesn't help me because I am not an NFL player. And so there are some of those folks. I have some rich friends that I plan on tapping their shoulder if I end up rich and be like, hey, who do you use? I am now one of you. And they'll be like, oh, okay. So there's a couple of rich folks whose shoulders I can tap. If you know anybody who happens to be pretty well off, ask them. Be like, hey, I've got a question. I need some mentoring here. Who do you use? Who's your lawyer? Who, whatever. And I'm lucky in that I live in a community with cajillionaires who live here. Not everyone lives in such a community. So, Mike Bunce defense, goats are abominations. They are. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. Talk to the guy who runs the chain of car dealerships you have in your part of the country. He'll probably have all sorts of lawyers. I'm sure. I'm sure really huge firms deal with this stuff. But let's see here. Who pops up? Private wealth services. That's what you're looking for. Private wealth services. So private wealth services law firms. So there's quite a few of them. Holland Knight, Chambers and Partners, McGuire Woods, Greenberg, Torrig, White and Case, McDermott, Will, and Emery. So there's quite a few of them that do this, and I would look them up. Each one, just type in private wealth services law firms into a search engine. Look up which ones pop up, and then start reviewing where they're located. If they have client lists or people who reviews, things like that, I would start looking into that. And then, shop around. Pit some of them against each other. Be like, hey, I'm a client with this much money. What can you do for me? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to these 5 other law firms. I'm going to go with whoever, makes me feel like I'm valued and isn't going to screw me over. And you don't want to be the type of lawyer to screw people over in private wealth management, because they can definitely afford other lawyers. In that case, you might not be their only lawyer. They may have 5 others on retainer doing all similar services for different pieces of their companies, and they discover you're screwing them over. Well, they're going to send the 4 or 5 other ones after you, and they've got all the resources in the world to make sure your life is living hell. So I do not think that they want to screw you over or have much desire to do that. Although I've known some shady attorneys who work in things and their specialty seems to be screwing their clients over, but they're not wealth management guys. They do IP and stuff like that, and they seem shady as shit. So look for those reviews and talk to people who are like, hey, who are some of your clients, and can you get me in contact with them? I'd like to know what it is that they enjoy about you and what it is they've got criticism wise. You want someone who's an open book on that stuff. Their job is to do things for you and to make sure you are at ease when they do those things for you. So yeah, that's what I have to say. There's probably giant law firms too that could be a one-stop shop. So they might have a private wealth services on one side. They may have litigation, other things on the other side. So if you pay a retainer to that firm, you can have multiple lawyers that do things for you. You got your real estate lawyer and your private wealth services lawyer and your pit bull trial lawyer and your estate planning lawyer, and they're all in the same bubble. So you can search around for that. You can get different lawyers for all those things if you want to not be in one-stop shop. Okbet's got pretty good tweets on those things. If you look up OKBet on Twitter, he's got whole tweet threads of specifically about who to get, how to get, whatever. I recommend them. They're pretty good. Tried to get him on the show. He was like, no. That's okay. Not everybody wants to come on the old Houston Wade program here. Is that all of those? Did I get through? Oh. Wait, no. Star Warrior, I wonder, points to Houston. Who points at Houston? Weekend points at Houston. Send, lol, thank you. Just wish we got paid already. Pet dog, please. Okay, monkey butt, you get a nice little scratch. Oh, right in the shoulder blades. That's a good spot, isn't it? Jose Rosario just moved to Schwab. What should I ask them to inquire about my shares? I'd say, hey, the shares got taken. And we know that the shares are taken at the request of the company. And there's a reorganization happening. I just want to get confirmation from you that if new equity is distributed to shareholders, that I will be one of those people who will get new equity. And you want to get them to say, yes, if new equity is distributed to existing shareholders, we have you on record as a shareholder and you will be getting the equity. That's what you're going to want out of them. Stephanie, I want code twice. I'm on. Love your jokes. Okay. Oh, that's why. All right. Jose Rosario, what's your Blue Sky username? I only saw a monkey. In the down in the description, the Houston Wade, I think, is my Blue Sky. Click there. Go there. Click there. TheHoustonWade.bsky.social. So I'll copy that, throw it into the chat. Boink, shaboom, boom, bam. There we go. All right. So it's now in the chat. Oh, also I put the link for mining Pi in the description. Dude, Pi prices are insane. And seriously, if anyone figures out how to get Pi out of their secured network thing and into one of these brokerages, tell me. I would love the cash. It's trading like $36 a coin. So I would love to sell my Pi coin for $36 a coin and, get a 4x4 RV. Travel the world. Do whatever. Get a whole bunch of GameStop. Do something. Anything. So click on the Pi thingy. You'll get one free Pi if you click on there. So that's $36 that you'll never be able to realize. And you can mine Pi with your phone and then be part of the network. And there it is. And then figure out how to get the Pi coins out of there for me so I can get mine out. Please. Okay. Lost Waves, you watch Pick of Destiny. I've not watched Pick of Destiny. No, not yet. Kelly Reed, UBS reports higher than reported Q3 losses of $785 million. Those bags be heavy. Yeah. Even then, I think they're probably shuffling things around. It's probably larger than that. But they're doing creative accounting to make it seem like it's only $785 million in losses. As we talked about before, Switzerland does not have the population available to back up how much the liabilities are on Credit Suisse. I don't know what UBS was thinking when they absorbed Credit Suisse. It may have been better to let Credit Suisse fail and then take all the things that matter from Credit Suisse and leave all the trash behind and let the government deal with that. Maybe they've got some sort of patriotic pride. They don't want to see the entire Swiss government fail miserably and collapse the entire banking system of Western Europe. But I think they're just kind of delaying the inevitable on this one because those $785 million in unrealized, or those losses, those are realized losses. They haven't done their unrealized ones yet, are going to explode. The minute real estate fails, the minute a MOAS happens, they're done. And to bail them out we did the math at one point. I forget what the total numbers of liabilities were, but it's coming out to like $30,000 per Swiss citizen to bail out just Credit Suisse's obligations on that. That's a lot of money. That is a ridiculous amount of money for such a small population to have to take in, which would crash the Swiss franc, which would make the exchange rate really great, which would make my vacations even cheaper when I go there. So, die UBS. Person with no name. So much manipulation. AMC had a great earnings and dropped instantly after hours. Did recover, but still. Exactly. This is what the shorts do. It's like, great news, hammer it down. Bad news, hammer it down. And they just hammer it down over and 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 over. Yeah. So, Brenda, Queen of Swords. Brenda, you're owed a blue sky code. Webull took my BBYQ shares and told me I was getting nothing. Yell at them, tell them they suck, and you want to talk to their manager. That's what, yeah, talk to Webull. All of these Apex trading apps are just garbage people. I mean, even if you search for BBYQ on Robinhood, it'll pop up. If I do Robinhood.com/BBBYQ. Nope, not found anymore. It was up earlier today. I guess not. It had popped up earlier today. Now it's gone again. That's weird. But it's gonna be a 404 now. It's popping in and out of things. Weird bonds keep showing up, like 2027 bonds. These crazy 4-year bond, 3-year bonds just showed up. They aren't tradable. Why? Because they just went to someone new. That's weird. Why would this bankrupt company be issuing new bonds? And a whole bunch of their bonds were not tradable at all until last week. And now all of a sudden they're trading like crazy. They've gone up like 1,000% in that time. So, I mean, you're getting, I think right now it's about 6 to 7 cents on the dollar for those bonds. So for $1,000 bond, you're going to pay like $60, $70 for it. That's not too bad, especially if you're getting interest on it and you're going to get a payout of $1,000 at the end. Sweet. It's weird. It's very weird stuff that's happening. Inigi says, people should ask for the compliance officer at Webull or whoever it is. It's illegal for them not to have one on operate in the U.S. They can be reported and sued for it. That's good. It's good advice. Why don't you put this in the chat, Iggy? Why do you keep sending me these text messages? So yeah, Brenda, contact Webull, ask to talk to their compliance officer, and demand satisfaction. So there you go. The Oat Milk Man. I have to find my old phone. I have about 10,000 coins of pi on there. That would be around $300,000, $360,000. Oat Milk Man. So get that old phone. Get it. Yeah. And just hit that little mining button every single day. So, damn, son. Damn. Bex, my BBYQ shares disappeared from TD Canada Trust today. I called, was told it came from the company, not from the bank or broker. The person knew immediately what stock I was referring to. Yeah, so someone posted yesterday about this, saying that when they talked to, I can't remember which Canadian broker they're with, may have been with the Canadian TD, that they talked to them and they said, hey, everyone else's shares disappeared. Why have your shares disappeared? And I said, we won't do that until we get exact communication from the company about what to do. And so it looks like they did. So there you go. Jose Rizar, if we get $25 BBBY, Divi, Gmi calls or shares. Man, calls will be so tempting. You get so many. Let's just look at the GME. GME. Options chain. Let's look at the options chain. I'll look at Monkey as if she's going to help me remember words And she did not. GameStop options chain. Okay, what we got? Let's look out. Let's look out. Because if this comes, it might go fast, but even then, you always like to have a few days or weeks to play with, right? So let's look out to June 2024. That's plenty. That's plenty far out there. There we go. What we got? So stock is trading at about 13. So you're looking at $300 for June 2024, $14. If you're going big for $40, you can get $40 calls. So you can load up. Because the math is always easiest when we're dealing with powers of 10. Have you guys noticed that? I do powers of 10 a lot when I do the math on these things. So calculator time. Okay. You have 10,000 shares. Oops, that was one too many there. You get $25 per share. Ha! 250 grand. That's what we're playing with. Okay, the stock price is 13 and change. Let's call it even $14. So if you're to buy stocks, you're going to get 17,857 of them, which is a boatload. Good job. 17 times what my goal has been, right? So you have 17,857. Okay. We look at options, right? Options cost $40. That will get you 6,250 of them. That controls 625,000 shares. So imagine you have $40 call options. Stock price goes to thousands of dollars. Goes to, I don't know, $5,000. You now have $3.125 billion if it goes to $5,000. Whereas if you're at the 17,000 shares times 5,000, you're at 85 million. So rich versus stupid rich, that's the gamble. You may want to split the difference. Maybe you get 8,000 shares and 3,000 call options, which will still net you $1 billion on 3,000 call options in case, shit goes wonky, whatever. Theta starts to run out, rolling over doesn't look good. So you can split the difference and hopefully win either way on that one. You can get $40 million out of your stock. You can get 1.5 billion out of your options. That seems, kind of maybe safe way to play it. It'd be really tempting though to YOLO and be like, all on red. So think about it. If we're looking at MOAS happening between now and New Year's, right? Buying the cheapest options at the highest price level available is probably not such a terrible idea. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you're buying options, you are a degenerate gambler. Admit that right now. So, yeah, you may as well at $40. What's the highest for January available right now? January. January goes all the way up to $500. What in the world? Calls. Why on earth did the calls become really expensive at 130? That makes no sense. That doesn't make, what is up with this? So for $127, $127.50 call option, they're $5. For $130, they're $63. That doesn't make any sense. Or sorry, $630. $6,300. Duh. That doesn't make any sense. What in earth? It's like put prices. Why are they doing it? That doesn't make any sense to me. Weird. What is going on with the stuff after 130? Doesn't make any sense. So these might not be available. These are squirrely. Why anyone would pay $3,900 for a $290 call option. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, okay, let's say we'll keep playing the calculator game. Hey, here, for some reason the 120 is at 1 cent. So you might as well buy a 120. It's at 1 cent. So why buy a 127? We can get 5 times as many 120s. Call options are so weird. Is anyone else? Sometimes there's like some random one. Like you might as well get $80 at 5 cents. Why would you buy a 130 at 5 cents? Doesn't make any sense. That sense doesn't make any sense. So anyway, okay. We're degenerate freakazoids. 1 cent. So $1 for a $120 call option for January. We're super confident this is all going to happen before January. Calculator game. You have 250K. 250K divided by $1 gives you 250,000 of these call options, which is actually, there's only 1,000 out there. So you would actually absolutely explode the options market if you tried to buy 250,000 of these things. But there's only 1,000 in an open interest. So that controls 25 million shares, right? Stock price goes to like $5,000. You just made $125 billion on that gamble. You just YOLO'd 250K into stock options that are going to expire in less than 2 months, and hoping that the MOAS happens between now and then. Good for you. You have the potential to be like the 3rd richest person on Earth off of just that stock options play. If you can find that many available that people are willing to write for you. You might, if you throw $250,000 at this at 1 cent an option, $1 an option, you might find some people at options writing houses going, idiot, I'll make you $250,000. And then they're putting themselves on the hook for like billions and billions of liability. So it's up to you, man. It's all up to you as to how you want to play it. Oh crap, I'm talking too much. That was Jose Rosario. Okay. Leaky Mountain. Hey, Jake's here. We haven't had Jake in here forever. Yay. Welcome, Jake. Long time no see. I'm hoping that some money will come my way. I'll come visit you on the Big Island. Come on. SEC filings. Scott Lumley, Houston. Happy birthday. Happy Dearth Day. Have you ever considered that this little group of followers should get together after MOAS and form a think tank that could tackle a lot of the world's problems? I have a dream of forming a think tank. I would call it the Bainbridge Institute for Science and Policy. And I would produce a monthly or quarterly journal. And on one side of the journal would be Bainbridge Science. And the other side of the journal would be Bainbridge Policy. And have think tank, have doctors, scientists, professors, contributors, people on staff to do experimentations and studies and whatnot, and then produce awesome research related to things. And then you could have a lobbying arm, like, hey, this is what we concluded. Now we're going to go talk to the government about these findings and see if we can make the world better. That's been like if I win the Mega Millions or Powerball type thought in my head. When I created the Institute for Science and Policy website, that was kind of my intention, and I just couldn't get the funding together to make it go anywhere. So trying to like organically fund something like that, not so good. But if you can fund it already by creating a nonprofit foundation or whatever out of your cajillions, then why not? So yes, Scott, I would love to do that. The Bainbridge Institute for Science and Policy. That's what I would create. Forgot how to super chat. It's because it's been too long there, Jake. Father Ted Crilly speak. I don't know what the rest of your name is. TD shares in Canada have officially disappeared. Yes, that's what someone just put in there. Who just put in there? It was Bex. Bex is in Ontario. She said that the person she called at TD said it was pulled due to a corporate action. The company did it, not a bank, not anyone else, the broker, not anyone else. It was the company that said to do it specifically. So here we are. We're in reorganization land, and now we wait for filings. Twiddle those thumbs, at least the ones you can twiddle, because I got one that's kind of out of commission. Cool. I'm an hour and 15 minutes behind the chat already. Okay. Bex, I'm angry. Queen of Swords, we're all angry. Yes, but center that chi. Know that there's a greater plan happening. Something is going on. And as I've been trying to say, like, I do not think this is a regular bankruptcy play. I think instead this is a revenge film. This is a Django Unchained revenge film. That the players are not financially motivated. That right now they're morally motivated because they're outraged. And they developed a plan entirely to screw up the shorts and the market makers in such a way that absolutely implodes the entire US stock market and forces changes that should have been done years ago by regulators. They've like, hey, if I can get these guys into one hell of a bull trap, we're going to rocket the stock. We're going to blow up the liquidity in the market. We're going to vaporize hundreds or thousands of hedge funds and family funds, and a whole bunch of billionaires will probably become millionaires. That will wake everyone up. So, yeah. Leaky Mountain, what the F is going on with 1,000 shares of Sears? I don't know. A couple of brokers pulled the QSIP and gave it a weird code this week. The bankruptcy court let the real estate group that's been charged of selling all the real estate, gave them a stay of 915 days last month. So basically 3 years, 2.5 years, for them to sell all the real estate and then come back. But then we have Sears stores opening like in Burbank and other places. Weird stuff, dude. Weird stuff. And I wish we knew more. But again, 2.5 years of this on Sears. Unless some amazing news comes out that we didn't see before. So, yeah. I'm too saucy. Eddie Lamper is the GOAT. Sears is part of the Butterfly Project. I hope so. Fingers crossed. And keep them crossed, man. I want clarity. Give me clarity. Post an 8K. Post a 10K. Post an S1. Post an S4. Just post some stuff. If I go to Edgar right now, I go to Edgar and I look at Edgar, and that's there, and I refresh it, and it says nope, nothing filed since September 29th. No new 8K since September 29th. No 10K since June. No annual meeting since April. And no ownership disclosure since February. So here we sit, blind and waiting. Just give us our meal. Give us our daily bread. Give us something. Monkey's like, give me a piece of stinky chicken. You want stinky chicken? Do ya? You want stinky chicken? Is that what you want? Does this make you happy? Because I can't get a meal, so I'm going to give you one old stinky chicken meal. How about that? One stinky chicken for the monkey bug. Oh, woo! Pungent smoked chicken. Get up here. Get over here. Get. Oh wait, I can't give it to you yet, monkey, because you're small. I make you big. There we go. That's a big monkey. Get that. So good. Happy dog. How's the cat doing? Cat cool? He looks cool. Okay, so where am I? I was at Andrew Stewart, Houston. Where does the U.S. sit in the world as far as corruption goes? I know we suck, but how bad? Okay, let's bring up and there we go. Okay. Boom. Corruption Perceptions Index. So high score is good. So Denmark is number one in the world as far as they are not corrupt. And Finland, New Zealand, Norway, Singapore, Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg. So basically Western Europe, most of North and Western Europe is pretty good. Hong Kong is least corrupt out of Asia. Then Australia, Canada, number 14 on the list. Tied with Estonia, tied with Iceland, tied with Uruguay. And then you got Belgium, Japan, United Kingdom, France, Austria, Seychelles. The Seychelles is less corrupt than the United States, coming at tied for 24th. I'm sorry, Seychelles 23rd, we're 24th. So we're the 24th least corrupt nation in the entire world. Bhutan, Taiwan, Chile, UAE, Barbados, Bahamas, Israel, South Korea, Lithuania, Portugal, Botswana. Botswana looks like the least corrupt African nation. Once Botswana got rid of De Beers, they really managed to turn their country around big time. So good on Botswana. And then Cabo Verde, couple of Spain. Oh, Spain's at 35. Latvia, Qatar, Czechia, Georgia, Italy, Slovenia, Dominica, Poland, St. Lucia, Costa Rica, Fiji. Okay, these are like middle guys. Who's down at the bottom? Who's the worst? Somalia. Somalia is the worst. Syria, South Sudan, Venezuela, Yemen, Libya, North Korea, Haiti. Haiti is above Venezuela. Ouch. Equatorial Guinea, Burundi, Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan's got a dictator. Nicaragua, Comoros, Chad, Dominican Republic of Congo, Guinea-Bissau, Congo, Sudan, Eritrea, Zimbabwe, Myanmar, Iraq. So it's just a bunch of shitty countries. Honduras, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Nigeria, Lebanon, Guatemala, Central African Republic, Cambodia, Afghanistan, Iran, Guinea, Bangladesh, Uganda, Mozambique, Madagascar. Okay, where do we get Kyrgyzstan? Russia. Russia's at 137. Papua New Guinea is less corrupt than Russia. Eswatini, Egypt, Djibouti, Uzbekistan, Mexico. Mexico is at 126. And if you're American, you can go to Mexico and you pretty much can graft anything you want there. So that tells you exactly what's like for countries below that. Bolivia, Niger, Kenya. I wonder, Niger has had a coup since then. I wonder where they're going to go. Because this is 2022 rankings, I believe. Yeah, 2022 rankings. So they had a coup. I wonder where they're going to go. Zambia, Ukraine. It's at 116. So they are way less corrupt than several of their former Soviet neighbors. But not quite to like Lithuania, Estonia, and those places yet. But yeah, we're 24th. So we're in the top chunk of these countries. But, you know, we went up. Hey, went up too. So we had dropped in 2020 and 2021. Who was president in 2020? Notice when we dropped. We dropped on that score during those 4 years. We were 6 point higher going into 2017 than we are today. And 9 points higher than we were 2020. Interesting. Stroke that beard. Twist that mustache. Okay. Leaky Mountain. Monkey Butts Chicken includes a side of belly rubs. Oh, would you belly rubs? Yes. Jose Rosario. Do we have an expected end date for BBYQ November 20th? I mean, November 20th is the date for the final payments to be approved. And that filing said there'll be a hearing on the 20th if needed. And then so far, no one has requested a hearing. So I don't know if there will be. When is the 20th? That's 12 days from now? Is that a Monday? That is Monday. So that's a week and almost 2 weeks from now. Not quite. So, is that the week of Thanksgiving? Or Thursday, 23rd? Thanksgiving on the 23rd, right? Not the 30th? Yeah, 23rd. So that hearing will be the week of Thanksgiving. That's one hell of a short week to do things on. So will it be over by November 20th? Will they file everything by then? Will they file stuff tomorrow? Man, So sick of waiting. At least we got all each other to hang out at obscene hours of the night, twist our mustaches, and contemplate, right? Come on, thing, get on my way. All right. Snort wasabi. Start early. PP is wrapping up. Oh yeah, PP wrapped up about half an hour before I started the show. I guessed. I was like, I bet he sounds like he's about to finish in half an hour or so. So to be safe, I'll make my show an hour from now. So, he invited all the short shills, the bears, to come on. And only a couple of them bothered, and even then they didn't have much to say. So, come on, they come into our chat every once in a while, and they have nothing to say in our chat. Also, Jay Geyser, add to your list of market reforms. File for bankruptcy equals auto share recall. Failure to deliver equals margin call. All margin calls are publicly announced. Failure to deliver any stock 2 times in a year, margin call. I'm okay with that. I mean, if you aren't allowing naked shorting, so if they get if like say no naked shorting or else criminal penalties, if they end up with a failure to deliver, I would say make the fine huge. Let's say they sold the stock for $10, right? If they sold stock for $10, failure to deliver, they not only have to go out in the market and buy that stock and deliver it, but they also owe either the SEC or the person, again, decide how to do this, or the person they sold the stock to and did not deliver it, 150% of the value of that stock. So if you're going to naked short a stock at $10 and you fail to deliver, you're going to let that person $10 plus another $15 on top of it. So it costs you $25 for that transaction, and then you get some sort of check off on your like demerit on your license. Like, oh, you have 20 points on your license. This is going to cost you 5. You screw up 4 more times after this, you lose your brokerage license and your company is gone. So don't mess up again. They'll start to get in line. The money will no longer be in destroying American industry and entrepreneurship, because that's the system we've designed. Is we've made this system like a perfect black hole creating machine for destroying American businesses. Oh, you've got a great new cancer drug out there? Be a shame if somebody shorted the shit out of your stock and put a bunch of plants on your board to destroy your company. Oh, look at that. Your IP's gone. No, tough shit. Right? That is what we have. Oh, you've got a really successful toy company? Well, guess what? I'm going to put some plants on your board, have Bain Capital come and do a leveraged buyout, and we're just going to destroy your company by over-leveraging it and then walking away as it goes into bankruptcy. That is too much of what the market is for these days. 8,000 hedge funds, another 4,000 or 5,000 family funds. Almost all of them are doing exactly that to make their money. They buy a few blue chips and some U.S. treasuries, and then the plays they make with their margin is specifically to destroy businesses, and usually mid-cap and small cap fledgling businesses that some of them have been around for a long time. KB Toy Hobby, Toys R Us, Kohl's, whatever, Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop, you name it, costs. And their entire goal is, I'm going to destroy this company. They're going to lose thousands of workers. We're going to obliterate the local malls across the United States. And there you go. Tough shit. Deal with it. I just made $1 gajillion. If we make it so that they naked short sale, they lose money on every naked short sale, guaranteed. Like, I'm going to sell this thing for $10. Mwahaha. Wait, this cost me $25. Shit. And it's got demerit on my license. Crap. And now I'm on some sort of list and the government's watching me really, really strongly. I think that's a good way to do it. South Korea just banned shorting period while they figure out what's happening. Because what they're noticing is there are Korean companies being shorted by companies outside of Korea, perhaps naked shorted wise, and they're like, no, we're stopping it all and we're figuring out what's going to happen. And they did that, I guess, in 2009 or 2008 when the global economy crashed as well. Is that they just got rid of it, stopped shorting while they figured out what's happening to ride through the rest of the market. So, yeah, Jay, we We need to slap some shorts around, and perhaps, rather than investing their money in the destruction of the American economy, they can invest their money in the construction of the American economy. Eh? Right? Money over Marrow. Where would a guy like that, the guy that likes rocks and does YouTube shows, invest $20,000 for short plays? Like as a short, or just a play that, shouldn't last too long? Options or stocks? If I had 20 grand, I'd buy GameStop. Just straight up get over 1,000 shares of GameStop, because it's so cheap right now. Oh my gosh, it's so cheap. And that their Q4 earnings report is going to be on steroids, like it was last year. They beat earnings by a boatload last year because they saved it all up for the Q4, so they can make a profit year over year. And they've each earnings so far this year has been like, oh, we just missed profitability. Oh, we're just a few cents under. Above expectations each time, but just a couple of cents under, so that when they post a 13 to 20 cent profit for Q4, it's going to be like, hey, look at that, we're profitable for the year. We're going to start giving dividends. That's what I think is going to happen. So even regardless of whatever could be happening with BBYQ, Ryan Cohen, killer of shorts, whatever, fundamentals wise, I think I would buy just a boatload of GameStop and go from there, right? Andrew Stewart, Houston. Hope you guys get a win on BBBY. I was gun shy after MMTLP I met and didn't buy any. Totally understandable. Shit's fucked up. And that's their goal. They want to get you gun shy. And so, what's going on. What was the play? Someone in the chat had wrote about a play about a SPAC that was happening. Oh, crap. I have to go into the Reddit, I think. And they told us about it, like, hey, this thing's happening. There's going to be some crazy arbitrage. And I guess the stock went from like $7 to $400. Which one was it? I have to go to R. Houston Wade. Oh, scared money doesn't make money. Here we go. This is from Survey Psychological. 8 days ago, I posted a long-winded question about an arbitrage opportunity with Twin Peaks Acquisition Company as it takes Carbon Revolution public. Crev. I didn't actually buy any shares. I figured it'd fizzle out. Damn it. It went from $7.45 to almost $400 this morning. I am so mad at myself. It's so infrequent to find something like this and get in before anyone else. It was right there in front of me all week, and I didn't make the move. Scared money doesn't make money. Please tell me that at least one of you made money over this. I have no idea why it blew up. My initial reaction is fuckery. That's why I detected last week. And with SPACs, that's the norm. Next time, folks. Next time. So, oof. Right? It's like all those Chinese stocks. Each time I'm like, oh yeah, I remember to get one of these Chinese IPOs, and then I forget, and then it goes from like $4 to $250. I'm like, why did I not remember to do that? So yeah, it happens. It happens. We can't be we're not Vanguard. We don't have enough money to be in everything yet. We can try later, but right now we don't have enough money to get in everything yet. Alexander K. Howdy, Houston. As you notice, market correction. Which news organization do you think will be the first to openly discuss the naked short selling shenanigans? I don't know if it wants to be an organization versus a particular correspondent or reporter for an organization that will do it. I would have a feeling that there'll be somebody like on CNBC who's kind of a black sheep. Who was that lady that was talking about GameStop and stuff a whole bunch 2 years ago? The Asian lady. I can't remember her name at the moment. Maybe someone like her being like, look, it's happening all over again. I wouldn't doubt if Charles Payne talks about it on Fox Business. Who else? Who else, Monkey? There'll probably be some financial reporters at like Public Policy or Financial Times that will begin to mention it once it starts happening. And then after those guys get it out there, then everyone will start like snowballing after that. Melissa Lee, thank you, William Jones. Yes, yeah. I'm too saucy. Rest in peace, HKD, Meagle, ATXG. Yeah, man, I'm too saucy. You're so right on that one. Sorry, one sec. My wristband thingy slipped, and now it's not where it should be. Okay. G-Font, happy birthday, Houston. When is Gardner coming on episode 400? I don't know if we'll ever be able to convince Gardner to come on. He's going surfing with his son tomorrow and then driving back up here to Northwest for Thanksgiving. So I'll see him in a few days. I can ask him. He'll be like, no. I'm your friend, Aloha from Wahoo. I'm the 10th like, and there's 39 people in here. Hit the like button. That's an hour and 20 minutes ago. Snare Alert is here. Hello. Money Vermeo saying subscribe and like. Yes, please do. Kelly Reed, banks instead of bad mortgages. Wait, I gotta read. First, my brain just like mixed all the letters up there. Banks instead of bad mortgages in 2008. Let's this time sell credit default swaps, prop up the economy until those betting against the market default, then rug pull. We've got some weird stuff going on. And hackers are just making hay right now. I don't know what vulnerabilities they're exposing, but we've got the hack of the casinos, shutting down the whole huge chunk of Las Vegas, holding them all for ransom, right? Then the British exchanges, the London exchange goes down and cannot do any of the small cap stocks whatsoever. They're saying, oh, it's a glitch, probably a hack. Then this last Friday, we had bank-to-bank protocols probably going down, and payday for a lot of folks. Their money never got delivered. Bank of America can't do any transactions. This has echoes of 2008 when every Friday banks were scared to do bank-to-bank transactions because they didn't know who was going to survive by Monday. Probably also a good chance it was a hack. Then you've got what happened with Mr. Cooper, which is the dumbest name for a company in the entire world. So Mr. Cooper used to be NationStar. They're like the second largest brokerage firm in the entire country. They control like 4.8 million mortgages. They got hacked, shut down their entire system, so 4.8 million people can't pay their mortgages. A lot of those mortgages are payments to or from real estate investment firms, right? Real estate investment firm, hey, I took out a bond, I built this skyscraper, there's a bunch of condos inside, I sold the condos, a whole bunch of those condos are money from Mr. Cooper to pay us for our condos, or we need to pay money towards Mr. Cooper for our bonds. We're talking about 4.8 million homeowners cannot pay their mortgages right now. So that's going to hurt some liquidity for banks, right? That cash is not coming around. Are those people going to spend that money by accident and not be able to pay their mortgage next month? Like, if you see money and you kind of go, I could go for a vacation right now, and then all of a sudden you're screwed. There's a lot of interesting hacks in the financial market happening that are affecting us like on a weekly basis in the Western Hemisphere. And is it bad actors like black hat hackers being like, fuck this, we can do all this, we can do whatever we want? Or is it perhaps organized by China or Russia as asymmetrical warfare to like hurt and undermine our entire financial sector? We'll take the London Exchange down. We'll take Mr. Cooper down. We'll take the casinos down. We'll hurt the bank-to-bank transactions. Like, are they hacking the ACH transaction codes? Like, is that how they're getting into these things? If they're hacking ACH, that means they'll be able to get into anyone's bank accounts. They'll be able to get into your PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, X when they decide to become a bank. It's interesting. Interesting indeed. Jose Rosario, with our wealth combined, we can create a micronation. We'll call it the Principality of Bed Bathers, and we need you to lead it. My people, Hello? I'm going back to bed. Make our own little Monaco. Hey, as long as we get a yearly F1 race, I'm all for it. I love urban races through the streets. They're the coolest thing. I loved IndyCar. Used to do one in Vancouver, BC, when my dad lived there. They would shut down all of downtown Vancouver, and the Molson Indy would happen. And I'd watch those cars from my dad's apartment window. I was like 10 years old. It was the coolest thing ever. So I will gladly accept be a reigning monarch so long as I can have a Formula One, highfalutin Formula One race in the streets of our glorious city. So there you go. Okay. Wealth Man G Fund, well, almost 400. Wonder who's the oldest member. Probably no longer here. There are some people I might recognize from the very beginning. They're still in the chat. There's definitely folks who are gone. I've chased away so many folks. they watched me expecting one thing, and they got something completely different, and they're like, "Oh, I hate you," and then they left. And you know what? That's okay. I've distilled the audience down into a group of folks who are just the raddest people available, and we don't have to deal with the charlatans and the angry people and stuff like that. They just shovel off, you know. And there's only like 300 accounts that have been banned. The other day, somebody got accidentally banned and I had to go through and unban them. And there was like 300 accounts total have been banned on this channel, which isn't very many. About half of them belong to one person, SS Minnow Johnson, and another third of them belong to my stalker. And at least the others are like, you know, bots that came in to say a bunch of homophobic and racist slurs. Get rid of those guys. Some weird Russian accounts. A lot of hot boys and girls accounts got in the ban, but I would have expected way more when I looked at that. It's only like 300 have been banned. So there you go. Derek Horse needs some mana. Some mana from heaven. Red Lightsaber, I won $50,000 on the Powerball last month, and I'm about to get rich investing in dead companies. I'm learning all the wrong lessons. Well, good for you, Red Lightsaber. Way to go. Way to go. I did not win anything in the Powerball last month. I wish I could have. Ricardo Barat. Hey, what happens to Webull shares that were sold penny for the lot? Not a clue. Someone was asking that earlier. I say call the compliance officer and yell at them and say that is not at all what the corporate action demanded of you. You violated me, and I think I want to sue you and see what happens. Get angry. Demand the compliance officer, and if they can't get you the compliance officer on the phone, they're open to like state and class action lawsuits. So I would call and raise a stink there, Ricardo. Robert Hurt, any takes on Republican circular firing squad that just took place? Thank you very much for your time and all you do. I did not see the debate. I was having dinner with my dad and stepmom, and I missed the debate. Although I did open up my social media and see just some great screenshots of Ron DeSantis looking like a complete weirdo. I'll go through the highlights later, I guess. But I mean, did the debates matter if Trump's not at any of them? Like, they're just all chirping. They're chirping, but it doesn't matter because Donald Trump's way up here in the hierarchy of the primary, and they're just fighting for second place. They're hoping to be vice president, is what every single person up there is hoping. Like, I'm going to be vice president. If I kiss his ass enough, I'll be vice president. Except for Ron, because Ron doesn't have a hope. He pissed off Trump, and Trump wants nothing to do with him. So he's meatball Ron forever. And anyone who has an encounter with that guy is just like, wow, I don't like you as a person. He's kind of like, what's his butt? Ted Cruz. Like Ted Cruz. I don't know how Ted Cruz wins elections because any personal interaction he has with someone, they are so put off by him. They're like, wow, I know we agree politically and on a lot of things, but for some reason, I want to punch you. And that's kind of the aura that Ron DeSantis is giving off now. It's the, I may agree with him, but I kind of want to punch him. So we'll see where it gets. I do believe that Mike Pence dropped out, particularly because he knows that there's going to be a crisis at the convention, and that crisis at the convention is going to be probably between him and Glenn Youngkin for the nomination. Youngkin is trying to stay out. He's trying to pay himself as like the non-MAGA guy. He's as MAGA as it gets. He's the governor of Virginia. So the two of them, if it comes down to it, they won't pick somebody who lost big time in the nominating process. They will pick somebody who wasn't part of the primary, and one of those guys will be the guy selected to be the Republican nominee if Trump goes to prison, which I think is pretty likely. He'll be sentenced by then. So, see where it goes. Avocados out of loop all day. Big news? No big news. Scott Pollen, bro, you still need to pay taxes on winnings. I hope you save $25K. It's 28%, I think, on winnings, unless your state also has income tax. Is Liddy's here? I'm still not even at the beginning of the show. I'm at 7:48 p.m. So I'm an hour and a half behind. Demetri Maximoff, working late because I'm a loser, but overjoyed I get to see my bro Houston have birthday. Where are my dragon shirts? Where is everyone's dragon shirts? I should put some dragon shirts in the store that no one will ever buy because I can't link it to my YouTube for some reason. But it is what it is. People talking about Hawaii. William Jones, at least Beyond, knows how to make use of Twitter for the Bed Bath & Beyond account. The old company did not have a clue how to market there. There is a big difference. They are marketing like crazy on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. They definitely know how. They definitely have a social media person that's fuerte. This is interesting also that they shit canned their CEO the day that they moved to the New York Stock Exchange. It's very interesting, and we've got a temporary replacement. We don't know who is the permanent replacement yet. Interesting. Kelly Reed, Houston, what's your thoughts on this zip-bound tirzepatide being approved by FDA? Will this affect no labs? Zip-bound tirzepatide. Well, I don't know anything about that. Zip-bound. Come on. Zip-bound tirzepatide. If FDA approves a Lilly zip-bound tirzepatide chronic weight management, a powerful new option. Powerful new option for the treatment of obesity or overweight with weight-related medical problems. Food and Drug Administration approved Eli Lilly's company's zip-bound tirzepatide injection, the first and only obesity treatment of its kind that activates both GIP glucose-independent insulinotropic polypeptide, GLP glucagon hormone receptors. Zip-bound is indicated for adults with obesity, BMI over 30 kilograms per meter squared or greater. Those who are overweight with a BMI of 27 or greater also have weight-related medical problems. There's hypertension, dyslipidemia, type 2 diabetes, mellitus, obstructive sleep apnea, or cardiovascular disease to lose weight and keep it off. Should be used with a reduced calorie diet and increased physical activity. Zip-bound should not be used with other tirzepatide-containing products or any other blah, 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 blah. It has not been studied in patients with a history of pancreatitis, severe gastrointestinal disease. Additionally, three patients taking Zip-bound at the highest dose, a loss of 58 pounds compared to 25% body weight, compared to 1.5% on placebo. That's pretty good. The average starting weight was 231 pounds. That's obese. I'm 215, man, and I am not anywhere close to being fat. Maybe these people are really short. Okay. Unfortunately, despite scientific evidence to the contrary, obesity is often seen as a lifestyle choice, something that people blah, blah, blah. Zepbound may be associated with gastrointestinal adverse reactions, sometimes severe. Most commonly reported adverse events were nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, abdominal pain, dyspepsia, injection site reactions, fatigue, hypersensitivity reactions, irritation, hair loss, gastroesophageal reflux disease. So you can be skinny and bald. How about that? That works. Skinny and bald. So be expected in the U.S. by the end of the year in doses from 2.5 milligrams to 15 milligrams. List price of $1,000. 20% lower than semi-legatitude, whatever that is. So is this going to be combating Ozempic? And we're starting to see weird things with Ozempic because a lot of people who aren't diabetic are using it to like look skinny and cut. I'm sure it will cut into anybody who's doing glucose stuff because if people are, a lot of type 2 diabetes people can lose all symptoms of type 2 diabetes if they lose weight. The way it had explained to me basically is if you've got mobile fat, like fat that's in the hips and the butt is not mobile fat. That stuff kind of sticks around. But stuff that's in the gut and the love handles, that fat is mobile. It can like break away and get in the bloodstream and it fucks up your pancreas and your insulin production. And that's what gives people type 2 diabetes usually. Type 1 diabetes is genetic. You're not going to be able to get rid of that. Maybe with future gene therapy, but right now, not so much. So at least no labs will have the folks that are type 1s to deal with and folks that can't afford this $1,000 injection. Is it a one-time injection or do you get it multiple times a year? I didn't really state that. Commercially insured may be pay as low $550 for a 1 month prescription, but $50 lower than list price. Interesting. All right. Well, there you go. Why are you staring at me? You already got your treat. You're a good dog. Just sit there. Okay. Good question, though. Dimitri Maximoff, the other night you said you've been watching Star Trek. What show or shows? I'm rewatching The Next Generation because it's been like 15 years. So, you know, a lot of those shows left my brain. So I'm almost done with the second season of my second watch through of The Next Generation. I forgot how long Wesley was on the show. My brain thought they decided to get rid of him after the first season, but no, he's still there. He's still around. So, we've already had 3 episodes of That's a Hole. Oh no, it's alive. We've had like 5 episodes of We're about to go for R&R. Oh no, shit got fucked up. We've had, I think, 2 episodes of We're stuck in a cave. We have no communications. We've had 3 or 4 episodes of hey, let's go have a fun time in the holodeck. Oh no, the holodeck's trying to kill us. Which I would stop going on the holodeck if every time I went on the holodeck it tried to kill me. I don't know. That's just me. I think I would learn my lesson by then. But I guess space must be so boring. They're like, well, let's gamble and see if the holodeck's gonna try and kill us. So yeah. Mickey Mountain. Monkey Bus next treat. She needs another. I'm a sucker. Stinky meat treats. A little monkey butt. Thanks to Avocados. I think you're wearing Avocados' little bandana she sent you too, Monkey. So, shall this one go? Oh, what did I just drop? What's the sticker pile? Put you in the sticker drawer soon. All right. You want to go into the Jaws cam? There you go. Raven, remain calm and seated, please. Thank you. William Jones, folks thinking that they are going to get stinking rich off a few shares, though, are just not being reasonable. Even we get equity and it squeezes. Seen this before with AMC and GME. I think this is a different animal than the traditional squeeze was happening. The traditional squeeze was happening back during the the sneeze in 2021, that was retail investors going, fuck this. I'm going to buy this thing and it's going to squeeze. And then it squoze. And then everyone freaked out and figured out, okay, we're going to turn off the buy button. Things will calm down. We're going to build liquidity for this. We're going to bail out this hedge fund. Oh, everything's okay. We're going to maintain. Oh, and the stocks went wow, 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 wow for a year before finally evened out. Right now, BBBY is we have big time billionaire activist investors behind it who I think are planning something spectacular that will benefit the shareholders, but really their secret mission is to absolutely vaporize these hedge funds and market makers with no hope of them ever returning or being able to fight back. So that's where my theory is going, is that Ryan Cohen and Carl Icahn are going to make history. They're going to obliterate these dudes. They may make money off of this. They may not care if they make money off of this because it would allow them to go and do future investments without getting like nitpicked and harangued by these insider douchebags at these companies who are there to destroy the companies. So I think it's a different animal this time. I think we've got some big giant 800-pound gorillas behind us. So we do have the buy and hold, haha. We also have a couple of bruisers who are like, you know what? We've been waiting our entire lives to do this. And this is going to be a street fight that's going to be lopsided because the big bad boys, they aren't spending a boatload of money to destroy these companies. And they don't have to worry about too much. They got bonds. They don't have to worry about margin. They just took out some bonds for the companies and they're going to do this. Whereas the market makers and hedge funds have to rely upon margin, liquidity requirements, and capital requirements. And if they get vaporized of their capital via, a $25 payout to a bunch of shareholders, then they get hit with having to provide equity for 6-7 different companies all of a sudden. They're never going to be able to make the liquidity. And it's the perfect timing because banks don't have cash. So banks will have no choice but to liquidate. We can't lend you any money, so we're going to just take all of your money. And that's going to be their only option. And then that'll be the chain reaction we needed. The chain reaction that was about to happen on January 28, 2021, when they're like, oh my God, if one of these hedge funds go under, the rest of them go under. That, I think, is the scenario that's being set up. And I think it's specifically not necessarily to make cash for those behind it, but to obliterate the system as it is and to bring about a fresh one, a phoenix from the ashes who will not be allowed to naked short anymore and maximize shareholder value at every company in existence. That, at least, is my hope. That's my hopium coming through. See what my God did with Nub, not a squeeze, transfer of wealth. There you go. The greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Walt, the man in the middle, I subscribed to Houston right after the treasure hunt. Anybody older than me? That's way back there. And the treasure hunt was the second month that I had a show. So that's way back there. And I blew that one. At least I got one subscription out of it. J-Dog, E-Trade has me twiddling my thumbs. All BBYQ shares are moved in organizations 1018. Still waiting for them to be returned. Thumbs going to be nubbed soon. Same thing with my Fidelity. KYP is here. Hello. I'm at the beginning of the show finally, and I'm an hour and a half behind. Okay. Dmitry Maximoff, good God, your beard grows fast. It's been 3 days, and you have more than I could grow in a year. It does grow pretty quick. I mean, the mustache that I had for Halloween, that was about 2 weeks. So now we're at 3 weeks with this big old lip worm. And I shaved. When did I shave? It's been a week. It's been a week I think, for the beard. That was the first when I shaved. So it comes pretty quick. I got some patches like here. It looks like it doesn't grow any hair, but they're all blonde. So that's weird. And then they're all blonde here too. So it also doesn't look like I grow any right there, which I think is always weird. I was looking at myself I'm looking at my image of myself right now, and it looks like I don't grow anything here, but there's like boatloads of blonde hairs, just as many as there are dark hairs here. It's weird. And the gray hairs grow way faster than anything else. The gray hairs on my chin, they grow at like twice the speed of the hairs that still have melanin. So the gray hairs like, wow, fly. It's like they don't have to spend energy on like being a normal color. So they just put it all into growing really fast and being really wiry. Raven, I'm only here to make sure Monkey Butt gets treats. William Jones, Houston Wade, there is a gold in that mine. Adam Aaron showed it to that dancer. Oh. So Jumpin' Burger intro. That's a good one. Jumpin' Burger. I like that. Andrew Stewart, I think my bit tall ride bowls. Saddlebrock is better for the tall guys. I tell you about when I went to a baseball tryout and there was a rodeo bull rider at the tryout. So I'm 20 years old. It was a tryout for the Reds at Columbia Basin College, community college out in Eastern Washington. And, I drove, parked, camped in the desert, and then went to this tryout. And there's like 10 of us who were invited to this tryout. And one of them was a bull rider. And you can only be 23 years old. You can't be any older than 23 and show up to a major league tryout unless there's some special situation where you're like that dude from the movie The Rookie, where you throw like 97 miles an hour at age 40 and they're like, we'll give you a try. So it was like 10 of us, and we're sitting around waiting for this dude from the Mets, the scout from the Mets, or scout from the Reds to show up. And he looks like he's 50 years old. He's like caked from sun, like cracks and burnt and whatever. And he's talking about, I'm a bull rider and like I've broken this bone and that bone and this bone. And like, I was good enough to get scholarship offers in baseball, but the money for bull riding was too good. And my body just can't take it anymore. So I'm trying out as a catcher. I was like, Jesus, like you're 23. He's like, I'm 22. I'm like, what the hell? You know, professional bull riding for like 4 years. You look like shit. But he wasn't that big. He was a little dude. He was like 5'8", and strong as hell, like legs like a tree trunk. But the guy looked like he's about 50. He just was so brutalized by being a bull rider, and basically he was retiring from bull riding at 22 because he just couldn't physically, like it destroyed him. And that was one of those. That's a very weird tryout. I've never been to a tryout that small. Like it's always been like 50 dudes show up, not like 10. But didn't care for a knuckleballer that summer. So I don't know. I have no idea if bull rider guy ever got signed to anything. He seemed like a good athlete, just battered and bruised. Zia Trades, thoughts on WeWork? As Cole Kirkland involved? My thing about WeWork is they are nothing but liabilities, meaning they don't own anything. They have like 700 leases all over the world for these office buildings, and they signed really long-term leases, like 15 and 20-year leases. So they have a boatload of obligations. And through restructuring, they only want to get rid of like 70 of these leases. So they're still going to have like 630 long-term leases. I don't know, especially with all the work from home. People have got really nice home offices now. There is some talk about like companies will be like getting rid of a bunch of their real estate, and they might lease from WeWork to have employees go there every once in a while. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't know, man. They make they have $3 billion a year in revenue. It's just that their out costs for their 700 plus leases they have is insane. And like it would be better for them to like jettison all their leases and then get new leases at a much cheaper rate because the commercial real estate market's complete garbage right now. So if they're going to have 700 leases around the world, 630 of them around the world, they may as well discharge everything and then go back in the market and get something cheaper, because the prices will just cratered by then. So I don't know. I don't know what value they bring. Maybe they're a giant Knowles play as well, and someone may take them as shell. But maintaining the 630 leases, that doesn't make them very desirable as a shell company, I don't think. Nice cat cam tonight. It is the blob cam. You're just a little chunk who doesn't move, huh? Look at you, you're a slug. You're a fat little slug. Rah. Okay. Leaky Mountain FDA rolled into CIA DEA dealing meth now. Lose weight. Run around your neighborhood like crazy. Jose Rosario, when hedge funds die, will it affect their personal wealth, or is it just the company? Keep thinking about Kenny's $1 billion home. It will. Oh, Kitty's having his herks. That's right, buddy. Cough it out. Cough it out. There you go. You got it. Good job. Well, the minimum membership to a hedge fund is $1 million. You have to be an accredited investor, which means you have to have $1 million in wealth. And then you can give it to a hedge fund to manage for you, and they can give you returns, right? So everyone's member has at least $1 million in there. There are some that have billions into these hedge funds. There's a lot of shady money in these hedge funds. A lot. Like I mentioned before, warlords, drug lords, mafia, dictators. A lot of really sketchy money has gone in these hedge funds, because you can take your money from Congo or Iraq or wherever, Colombia, you put it into an offshore account in Belize, Caymans, Bahamas, Cyprus, whatever, in these offshore banking havens. And then you say, hey, I want you to manage this money for me. And hedge funds would gladly, you've got $700 million. Oh, you have $5 billion. Yes, I will gladly manage for you. So that's a great way to get the money from these offshore accounts into a hard currency market like the United States. You just laundered your money all over the world into a hedge fund. And you can have them sign NDAs as to who's a member of that hedge fund. Be like, yeah, NDAs, we can't reveal who our client list is, but we've got $40 billion invested, and we're going to do all this. So if those hedge funds get vaporized, right? So they take the client money, and with that client money, they buy bonds and they buy blue chip stocks. Cool. Long-term, constant growth, and then they borrow on that. If they get margin called, right, the money they borrowed needs to get paid back, which means they got to sell everything that's in that little foundation, that little collateral nest egg they have. So they sell all the bonds, they sell all the blue chip stocks, and they use that to pay off the margin. Well, only covers a fraction of the margin, maybe covers 1/30 of it if you're lucky, and they got 29/30 left over, which now goes to the prime broker who's got to cover it. Everyone who's a member of that hedge fund, everyone's a client of that hedge fund, just got vaporized. They're not getting their money back. If you put $5 billion in that hedge fund and they just got margin called and liquidated, you lost your $5 billion. It's gone. Poof. Nowhere to be seen ever again. So I think the least of some of these hedge funds' problems will be like, oh no, we got liquidated, we don't exist anymore. It's going to be the outfall of being liquidated of the funds of these really, really, really scary underworld people. The dictators, the drug lords, the warlords, the mafia bosses. Those scary people, you do not want to lose their money. And as we mentioned before, like that's the entire plot of Casino Royale, was Lafitte lost the money of the scary warlord. Gambling, poof, gone. Scary warlord takes care of Lafitte. So it's there's a lot of signs pointing that guys like Steve Cohen and Plotkin and Cohen or Ken Griffin, they've taken a lot of money from these scary dudes. People who are following Ken Griffin's plane around, the Citadel Air, those guys, they were seeing his plane go a lot to Russia when it came time for those sanctions were happening, when they invaded Ukraine. They're heading to Eastern Europe a lot. And that's probably be like, no, your money's safe. We've got it. We're going to make sure it's not taken by the government. That was probably Ken, assuaging the fears of some scary warlords and members of the Russian government that, he's not fucking up, because he knows what happens if he does. So when the Asian economic collapse happened in 1997, a lot of it was centered around Indonesia. So Suharto is out. Indonesia is trying to become a democracy. There's an economic crisis all across Asia and Southeast Asia. There were insane number of assassinations happened in Indonesia. And it was thought that ninja, were being hired to go through and execute certain rich people, certain members of the Suharto government. We're talking like guys are at their desk and they're on CCTV footage, and all of a sudden their head is on the floor next to them, and you don't ever see how it happened. A lot of that, I wouldn't doubt if in a crisis like this where hedge funds are getting obliterated, that we start to see some pretty interesting murders. We saw it a bunch with the crypto collapse last year. A whole bunch of important crypto people were winding up cut to pieces in suitcases and stuff. This is because the crypto world is dominated by criminals, because crypto is a great way to transfer and launder money around the world. So if you're a heavy dealer of crypto, it's a good chance that you're going to be tied in with the underworld if that's the case. So expect murder, right? Jose Rosario, can you say hi to my buddy Decker? He's now a fan. Hi, Decker. How does your memory work? You are able to retain a lot of info. It reminds me of BBC show Sherlock. He used something called a mind palace. I don't have an eidetic memory. That's like a picture memory. My grandmother did. My grandmother, you could take a book, a random book she's never read before in her life, and go like this, and then close the page. And she'd be able to recite to you exactly word for word what was on the pages she just saw. You could ask her, like, hey, Grandma, what was the box score of the Yankees game on May 7th, 1947? And she'd be like, the Yankees didn't play that day. They played on the 8th, though, and they played against the Boston Red Sox. It was a score of 4-2, and so-and-so had, you should recite you the entire box score. She memorized it from when she read the newspaper in 1947. She was a freak of nature. Problem is that when she got older, she lost her eidetic memory. She lost her picture memory in her late 70s, early 80s. And if your entire life you never actually had to learn anything because you just memorized it, figuring out how to learn stuff at that age is very complicated. Because you didn't have to go through, you didn't have to study. You just remember it once and it's got it there. So then when you started encountering new things at that age and you no longer had a photographic memory, she could not navigate, and it just slipped quickly into kind of dementia after that. I don't know why I have a good memory. It's not a perfect memory, but it's pretty darn good. I can remember individual lesson plans from kindergarten or first grade. I can remember from very early ages. I can remember playing with the tabs on my diaper when I was maybe a year and a half old. I have specific memories from well below age 2 of certain things. Some of that may be due to the fact that I never really had significant emotional trauma as a kid. I know folks that had lots of trauma as a kid can't remember their childhood at all. They can't remember anything from their childhood. So I had a pretty good childhood, and that's probably the greatest blessing I had from my parents, was that I was not beaten or molested or emotionally abused or whatever. Yeah. Thinking about Clay from our volcanology class did, cheater. Yeah. The eidetic memory people are freaky deaky. There was a really weird autistic girl who was in my class growing up, and she had a perfect picture memory. She was really difficult to be around. Like, just, I mean, I have lots of friends who are autistic. I was an astronomy major. Half my department was autistic, but she was just a very unpleasant person to be around. But she memorized everything. She could recite poems and Shakespeare and everything she ever read. She could just recite it, and then she would like be a weirdo next to you in class and like pee herself and stuff. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, I don't know, monkey. Why does it work? I also don't drink. That also I think helps a lot. That might also help. Like, my biggest beef with my brain is like, because I never blacked out. Like, I don't drink. I never had a blackout or whatever. Is when I got hit by the car in San Diego, missing that entire day. Knowing that things happened and I have no memory of it really pisses me off. Because it's like the one shadow in my entire cabeza that I have no memory of. Like, I went to the grocery store. I was bicycling home from the grocery store when I got hit by the car. I know there was stuff in my bag. I have the receipt from that. And like, it's hit and run. Dude hit me, took off, left me for dead. I should be really angry about that. Insurance decided to cover nothing. I was basically bankrupt at 18. I should be really angry about that. What I'm most angry about is myself. Is that on that sheet, I had like soup, salad, milk, Starburst fruit gems. I hate Starburst fruit gems. I hate them. I think they're disgusting. They're like, I love gummies. I hate Swedish fish. Starburst fruit gems are like Swedish fish. So why did I buy a bag of my least favorite candy in the entire world? And why do I have no memory of why I bought that bag? Was I buying it for somebody? Was I buying it for myself? Why don't I know? And I will never know why I bought Starburst fruit gems. I hate them. They disgust me. Yet I spent $3.99 on Starburst fruit gems right before somebody tried to kill me. And I'll never have that answer. None. No memory of it. It's gone. How to live my entire life not knowing why I bought Starburst fruit gems. So how do you keep forgetting to get belly rubs? Monkey, get up here. Get up here, monkey. Come on. Oh, there we go. Got your belly rub. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, you're a sweet little dog. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You miss Jake. You want to see Jake again? Want Jake to come visit to Seattle? Huh? We can't have you visit Hawaii because then you get stuck in quarantine for like 6 weeks, and that's gonna suck. So maybe I'll have to sneak you into the state, huh? I know you're from there, but you won't be allowed back without quarantine. So there you go. Are you happy now, Jake? All right. I might be setting a record for being the most far behind in the chat I've ever been. Goodness gracious. Oh, and then there's a reset of the chat. And okay, we're there. Past this one. That one. Brenda Queen of Swords, badass intro. Thanks, Alexander, for that one. He's in the chat tonight. He made several of these intros. They're all pretty good. He did the one for Halloween as well that people liked a lot, and for the charity show. He made that one like weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of time. Like, let's use this one for the Halloween charity show. So, thank you, good sir. William Jones, how much does it cost to have an AST account? Who are you all paying with that DRS with? The DRS money goes to your broker. I don't think you pay anything for AST. When I DRS'd my MMTLP shares, Fidelity told me it cost me $100. So I put $100 in my account, told them to DRS it. They DRS'd it, and they never took the $100 out. So I bought like 2,000 more Bed Bath & Beyond when it was really, really cheap. So there you go. Bogus McGee, love the intro, sad about the lack of fart. Okay. Robert Hurt, how much would it cost for us listeners to send you to Washington and crash one of those FINRA Gov meetings? Let's go on the offensive next Charity Tuesday. Houston goes to Washington. I mean, a round trip ticket's for like $400 and a place to stay, a couple $100 a night. So probably a couple of grand I can go there. I wouldn't be able to crash that meeting, but what I would love to do is I'd love to go to DC and just knock on doors and be like, hey, this is what's happening. I want to explain the situation to you. I want to talk about the Retail Investors Bill of Rights, and let's get some changes done. And let's kick some of these fat cats to the curb. We'll improve our society and make life better. And that's what I'd like to do. And if a MOAS happens, I will probably devote a significant portion of time each year knocking on doors, telling people like, hey, I don't care what your politics are. You could be complete opposite of me, but if you fight for this, I will donate to your campaign until we get this Retail Investors Bill of Rights passed. And we'll just even keel, go across the board. Probably do the same thing with healthcare. Like, let's nationalize healthcare. I don't care what politics you have. I will donate a boatload to your campaign if you agree to nationalize healthcare, get rid of this crappy private insurance system we have. I would love to be a billionaire and just outspend the healthcare lobby. I would gladly spend myself back down to poverty if we get national healthcare for everyone. Defender X, I just checked the Twitter account. Your account is suspended, so how can I contact you on Reddit? Hustman, in there. I think the my subreddit's down in the description. And Defender X, you are owed a Blue Sky code. Yeah, my Twitter account got suspended because I was mean to Nazis, and Twitter was like, you cannot be mean to Nazis, and they suspended my account. So there you go. Nazis can say they're going to like wipe the world of Jews, and Twitter doesn't care. But if you tell a Nazi to follow their leader with a picture of Hitler blowing his brains out, you're the bad one. So, FYI. JS, Teddy will have private wealth services. As good speculation as anything. Derek Horse, tell me my 3,000 shares have been enough to retire. If your 3,000 shares get to $1,000 a share, you can retire in $3 million. $3 million in an index fund nets you $300K a year. If you can't live off $300K a year, then I don't know what's wrong. That's 6 times what I earn right now. I could easily live off of $300K a year. Comfortably. Traveling a lot. Let's suppose if you buy some house that costs you like $20,000 a month mortgage, you aren't going to be able to do it. But, prioritize. Budget. I'm too saucy. Do you have a tweet framed in your room? Do you not know about my tweet? About when I cost Scott Adams the syndication of his beloved Dilbert comic strip. I'm responsible for Scott Adams no longer having Dilbert in your newspaper. That was me. So, Scott Adams has a podcast. And that podcast is frequented by racist weirdos. And I made the clip of Scott Adams basically saying, like, you know what? Screw black people. You should never do business with black people. He's being a racist asshole. My Twitter account made the world aware of this, the greater world outside of his weirdo followers. And as a result, Scott Adams jumped into my mentions on Twitter for like weeks. Some of you who follow me on Twitter remember this. Like, he could not help himself. He kept jumping in, and then he had a whole bunch of bots that he had paid to come and argue with me. And then I'd point out that these were bots and not actual people. And it made him even more mad. And at one point, he tweeted at me, idiot. And I think it was the next day is when he lost syndication on all of his comics. As a result of me making the world aware of what a racist piece of shit he is. And so I framed it because it's to remind me that sometimes one person can change the world. And in my case, this one person cost Scott Adams like $20 million a year. So thank you, Scott. Yeah. Ugh. on. There you go. So, that's cherished. That tweet is very cherished. Oh, the light's all gleaming on it weird. Let's see if we can, is that still gleaming weird? That's still gleaming weird. If I go, there we go. Whoops. Come on. Godzilla tails in the way. So there you go. There you go. Not a belly. It was a belly rub, Jake. Okay. Daphne says, chambers.com to find law firms and COAs for that. If you are on Twitter, okay Bets did a series of posts yesterday on all the private wealth management services. He's an expert on it. Yeah, seriously, go to OK Bets Twitter. He has some good stuff on it. Robert Hurt, Otani rumors have him in Seattle as a possibility. Also, the Rangers would be a good addition. I would love for Otani to come to Seattle. I don't know if we could use his bat, that's for sure. Put him in right field. Have his bat do his thing. Except he had to DH because his arm's all messed up. So he'll be able to pitch for a year. And he'll be a discount versus where he was if he didn't hurt his elbow. Who's that pitcher? The really amazing one that won the World Baseball Classic. Yoshinobu. Yeah, Yamamoto. So I think the Mariners pick up Yoshinobu, Yamamoto, and then they could afford to trade away one of their young arms to get some healthy bats. So what the Mariners need at least 2 hitters with on-base plus slugging percentage in the 900 range or above. And with their pitching staff, they could make the playoffs and win the World Series if they just get 2 more hitters. So they got rid of Teoscar Hernandez, who in the past had been a 900 on-base plus slugging hitter, but he's on the wrong side of 30. He strikes out 200 times a year. He's a pretty meh fielder. So if they get somebody who can run around that outfield and hit, and they get himself a healthy DH, then the possibility of Kelenic being healthy coming in a new season and starting to mash like he's supposed to, Julio Rodriguez is only gonna get better and better. So you can have yourself like the best outfield in baseball. If that's the case, you got a really good shortstop, first baseman. You might be able to find somebody to play first base. They can mash for you. You might pick up Cody Bellinger. They might trade for Soto. It'd be interesting to see where Soto goes. Because Soto's got 1 year left on his arbitration deal, which he'll probably make like $20-30 million. But he's one of the best hitters in baseball. Who do they get? The fans are really pissed off at ownership, because ownership was like, well, 54% winning is pretty good. We're like, we don't care about 54% winning. We want to go to the World Series because we're the only team in baseball that's ever gone to the World Series. So we'll see where it goes. If Moas happens, I'll buy the team. That's the other thing I'll do. I'll buy the team and I'll go to Washington D.C. and yell at members of Congress. So there you go. And I'll make sure that we have a stacked lineup. Okay. Beetlejuice, what do I do with unexpected large settlement check? I mean, that's up to you, man. What do you need to do with it? That's also important. Like, do you have loans you'd like to close? Pay for healthcare or school or whatever. Do those things. And if you have extra, figure out what your investment ideal is. Slow and steady wins the race. YOLO degenerate gambler. Whatever you got. Shane E. Hi, HW. Glad to catch you. Live music tip. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Super talented, prolific, and rocks numerous styles. I have heard King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I know I've not seen him live, but thank you. And Shane E., you need to message me on Reddit, and I'll get you your code. There you go. 400,000. Dang, Beetlejuice. Is it settlement check taxable? Is it tax-free settlement? Find out. Save some for taxes. 400K. Again, nets you, what, 30,000 or so of GME if you want it. I mean, that's what I would do with it. First, I give myself a war rig, and then I would YOLO on some GME. Right, monkey? Oh, you sweet little dog. Yeah, you got such a scratchy little face, don't you? Yes, you do. I just use Reddit sending the message, but I am not Defender X in Reddit. Anyway, sending the message. As long as you identify yourself as Defender X, we're okay. So, yeah. Liman aloha and shalom. OG, the Star Killer Houston, are you saying my 121,000 BBY shares will turn into 700,000 shares? What if I own 400,000 of another one of those companies merging in? Does that 7x also? Not a clue. It's pure speculation. My point that we get 1-for-1 into 7 companies on this. Pure speculation. It might be, some of them might be 1-for-1, others might be 1-for-10, stuff like that. So let's say GME is part of this, right? GME is going to come in, they're going to take some of those nulls and do a reverse merger, and BBBY holders get, for every 10 shares of BBY they have, they get 1 share of GME. So that means another 70 million shares are added to the total authorized shares of GME. So we turn, a 20-cent investment into a $13 investment off that 1 share. Cool. Or it used to be like a $2 investment into a $13 investment. But it also adds to the incredible number of shorts on GameStop alone, because GameStop may have 1 billion or so short, maybe more than that. And now there is another 500 to 1 billion short that goes into GameStop as a result of that. And maybe some companies, maybe if Lego is part of this thing, right? Lego is a privately held company. They may want to IPO via a SPAC. So they reverse merger into this thing, and we get a 1-for-1 on Lego. So Lego ends up with 750 million shares plus whatever the insiders at Lego have, and that's how they come into the market. We may be 1-for-1 on Teddy, maybe 1-for-1 on Baby, maybe 1-for-1 on, I don't know, Toys R Us or whatever. Like, there could be quite a bit. So if you have shares of other company, I don't think that will change. The number of shares you have, that will change in the company that's merging in, but it will definitely change if they're reverse merging into this thing anew. Yeah. Robert Hurt just read about an asteroid in retrograde. How is this possible? Well, retrograde is a matter of perspective. It has to do with the Earth's rotation, and we go around the sun more times than an object that's further away. If an object's further away, it takes longer to get around because they have a further distance to go. So the sun will go around several times. How we look at objects in the sky is we look at it and we see these background stars. And those background stars, they don't change perspective. And as we're going around, we might see them over here, right? Like how would I do this? Think of the books behind me as background stars. So if you see my head over here, there's some different background stars there. And my head over here, there's different ones here. So as we come around, we may see some stars out yonder. And as we pass them, it looks like they're going backwards. So that's what we call retrograde, is when it looks like that object is all of a sudden going backwards because we just passed them. So it happens to any planet that is outside of our orbit goes into retrograde periodically. Every rotation we go around. So when someone's like, "Oh, Mercury's in retrograde," it just means that we just passed Mercury, and Neptune's retrograde. Well, we just passed Neptune, so it looks like it's going backwards. That's all it means. Okay, my voice is failing. This is the furthest behind I've ever been on a show where I didn't have a guest. So, I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. That 2 hours went really quick tonight. It went way faster than it felt like. I see one more question here at the end that has to do with diamonds. Trey Spider, Houston, do lab-created diamonds test as real with those diamond testers? Yes. But for some reason, and a reason no one can explain, lab-created diamonds do not fluorescent X-ray like natural diamonds. And that's the one way to test real from fake, is that they fluorescent X-ray. And the person who figures out how to make a lab-created diamond fluorescent X-ray will be a cajillionaire, because for a long time they'll be able to sell those as real diamonds and no one will know the difference. So that may have already happened. Maybe there are lab-created diamonds out there being sold as real ones because they are fluorescing in X-ray. But yeah, but they'll test real. What diamond testers generally do is they're looking for thermal conductivity. So diamonds are almost a perfect thermal conductor, which is a great way to test. Is if someone has a diamond ring, you can put your finger on the diamond. It'll feel kind of cool to touch because it dissipates heat really quickly. And so the diamond tester is testing how fast it dissipates heat. So there you go. All right. Monkey butt, bid you adieu. Kitty cat, bid everyone adieu. Everybody, have a great night. Watch some Star Trek. Hang out. As been the caveats, there'll be a show on Friday. But if for some reason SEC documents get dropped tomorrow, I'll find a time to do an emergency show. And we'll talk about that. My voice is really failing me. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Friday. And have a great night. You guys are fantastic tonight. This was a really quick evening. So, woo! Let's do this one. Nope, we can't do that one. Shoot. That one gets me in trouble. This one.